marketing specialist local sports update, brought to you by Baker Glass. The Noles released its official depth chart Sunday for its opener this Saturday against Georgia Tech. And quarterback DJ Uyunglele will start under center for the Seminoles for the first time in his career, with another transfer, Marvin Jones Jr., starting at defensive end. Head coach Mike Norvell met with the media and spoke on his confidence he has for DJ.
He's played a lot of football games, and he's seen it all. He's been through highs, he's been through lows. I mean, could not be any more pleased with what I've seen since he got here in January. Even just his growth. You go through spring practice. We tried to put him in some really challenging situations. Wanted to see him have to respond to a disappointment. We wanted to put him in the hardest looks to see what was his decision making, how would he go, and then how would he grow from that. And I think he's just done an outstanding job.
Noles will continue to practice in Tallahassee these next 2 days before heading off to Ireland. It's 92 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
Prime time. What time is it? Showtime. Prime time.
It's XL Primetime, featuring Joe C.
Why in the world am I sitting back and being quiet about this?
Matt Hayes.
Oh, my God, this is ridiculous.
And Leon Searcy.
If you can't hang with the big dogs, stay on the porch.
How you like me now? How you like me?
Some big boy football in your world of college football by the end of the week. That's right. Week 0 is here. Noles, Yellow Jackets. I always fight the idea to Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, yet they're the Rambling Wreck. I always fight that, but it is the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech, although I'd love for them just to be named the Rambling Wreck. It would be awesome. But anyway, you got FSU GT over in Dublin on Saturday. So week 0 is officially here, and we get it cranking today as we talk a lot of college football, but also a lot about your Jacksonville Jaguars. Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota Tuesday, so welcome in. We got our head coach, Dave Campo, with us, so it's a full house. If you jump on YouTube, you can watch the stream, and you can see us 4 wide, just like they do in NASCAR, Coach. Just like they do in NASCAR, and you're right there in the middle, just trading paint with me and Matt and Big Sirs.
Yeah, but I can't hang with you guys.
Are you sure?
I really like, being in a situation where you guys bring out the best in me.
All right, now listen, we're going to lean on you.
Is that what you're going to call it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're going to lean on you to bring out the best in XL Primetime today, okay? So I figured we would, as we just march closer to this last preseason game of the Jags, we got to keep all Duval entertained with all the possibilities. Who's going to make the 53-man roster? Who may be forced to the practice squad? Who are guys that you don't want to see go, but you might have to risk them on that squad? And then who are guys that are going to be gone from a 90-man roster? And, Leon, it's weird because back in your day, as soon as that final roster cut was made, it was marching right on to the regular season. That next – I think, what did the cuts come on Tuesday? And Sunday, you were suiting up to play for real. And now there's this big gap in time. There's actually 3 Sundays between the last time they play and when they kick it off.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I go back in the time machine, a very, very, very long time ago, when the last time I suited them up. But I remember the pecking order. It was 4 games, and the second game is when the starters played most of the games. They got at least a half. Third game, back up. 4th games, we didn't even dress for that. And the next thing you know, we're starting the week. We're preparing.
Right.
We're game planning for the game. So, I mean, things are a little different. They get an extra bye week now. After they make the cuts, they got 2 weeks before they start the game. And I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, to be quite honest with you, because once preseason is over, see, listen, I looked at training camp and preseason as in the way, all right, because I wanted to play football. I wanted to get down to when it really counts. So now they have an extra week, and I don't know if that's good or bad. Maybe if you're injured, need more rest, give you an extra week of preparation and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, but me, I kind of, once the preseason's over, man, I was ready to get going.
It honestly, it's a mix of the rest and make sure that you don't have any rust, Coach. You want to make sure that you're good to go by the time they get down to Miami and take on the Dolphins.
That's what I was going to say. This particular game is important for the starters, in my opinion, because of the fact that there's time between this game. And I think teams are making a mistake not playing their guys in this one. And there are some teams that are not playing their guys in this game. And to me, that's a mistake because you can say whatever you want about practice, but, playing a real ball game to keep you fresh and understanding what it's like to take a hit,
right?
All those kind of things, make a tackle. There's nobody going to be tackling after this ball game right up until they line up in the first ball game.
True. All right, go back to what we asked. We all asked each other this question yesterday. If the starters are successful, how long?
That's the question, I think. And my idea is if they get out there the first drive and they go right down the field, 70 yards, score a touchdown, in my view, everybody comes out. There's no sense in it. There's no sense in keeping those guys in there. Now, you, as an NFL coach, might think, you know what? They need to shake a little rust off. What are your thoughts on that idea? I only say that because I've been watching this offensive line, man. And the last thing I want is for something crazy to happen that you don't want to happen in a meaningless game.
It's funny. It's a deep roster, but it's still thin.
Right. And
it's
not only that,
is
if something terrible happens in game one, you're like, well, it's game one. It's the real stuff. So you can deal with that. You can't deal with the preseason.
I think there's two things involved. Number one is what I just said. If something happens, unless it's a serious injury, you got time to recover. So that means, okay, let's make sure these guys have a real good taste of a game week. Like, for example, their schedule this week is a game schedule, more so, getting ready to play a regular ball game. So,
but even any injury, you're still looking at probably 9 days tops to recover, right?
Listen, if there's an injury, there's an injury.
Right.
And I think part of the concern is the fact that because the offseason is basically shortened, the amount of time you're playing football,
right?
To me, there is more injuries, so that is the concern about playing them too long. But I offset that by saying that, let me put it this way. Trevor Lawrence is not going to get more than 15 snaps at most. So if you're talking about how much is he going to play, if he has a 7 or 8 or 9 play drive, he's only playing 2 drives at the most.
Right.
So it's really not a quarter.
So it's more pitch count.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
And to me, I think that's the way you look at the position. I think you look at the position if you say, okay, we're really strong at backup nickel.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm going to play my nickel a little bit more to make sure he's ready. Okay. And then because if something happens, I got a guy that's going to come in and there's not a big drop off. So there's so many things involved. And the other
so you're saying don't fear injury where you're the deepest, but worry about where you're.
So the receivers are going to play then. What you're saying?
Yeah. That in my opinion, that's one of the reasons that they played the receivers a little bit in this last ball game. The young guys,
right?
A little bit more. They said they weren't going to play any of the starters. Well, Brian Thomas was in there for about 15. I don't know how many plays he played, but he played a number.
I'd actually like to see Mac play with the first team offense.
Well, I think
if you get Trevor out of there after 15 plays, I'd like to see Mac play the entire first half of that offense.
That could very well happen. The other thing we have to keep in mind is we're talking about the cut at the end of the. When you asked Leon about the cut, there's more time for you. Some of the guys that we think might make the team will not make the team based on somebody else coming from somebody else's team.
Right.
True cuts.
Right.
Once those cuts are made.
Because you got time to indoctrinate that guy into your offense and defense with that extra week before the first ball game. So they're looking at everybody right now.
Yeah, I mean,
opens a couple offensive linemen.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a possibility.
I mean, it might be some cap casualties, or it might be some guys who are a little long in the tooth that on other teams that they cut, and we might incorporate them here in Jacksonville.
Absolutely.
So I mean, especially at the offensive line position.
Yeah, and the offensive line. The problem with the offensive line situation is that it has to be one of those guys, like Leon just said.
Right.
It's not going to be a young guy.
No, it's not.
Because they're not letting the young guys out of the building.
Right.
And so there's not that many linemen out there that make us better in the long run, unless it's a long in the tooth guy that still has something left.
Yep.
And what's crazy is the following Tuesday, they will reduce this roster. And so what Coach is saying, and maybe not too many people are thinking this, is that you actually you don't need to panic. you have time to get a guy in,
Correct.
show him the playbook, and say, here's, you got, let's just say they bring him in on Wednesday because you have certain guys that can clear waivers, certain other guys that don't have to worry about that, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, bottom line is they could go through basically 10 days of work.
Right.
10 days of work before we're getting ready to play a football game.
And that's not
meaningful.
like the old days. The old days you had, like you said, you didn't have much time. So you had to really question whether or not you can get a guy ready if you bring him in, unless you're not counting on him till the second or third ball game or something like that.
Exactly. All right, so we got plenty to get into, and we'll at least set it up today where you guys can help us. You can jump on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010. You can hit the YouTube stream, real easy to get in on the chat there. Basically, we're going to talk about the guys that help themselves greatly make the team Saturday night, and those that hurt themselves making the team Saturday night. So we'll get into both of those. We want to say thanks to Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota. You can definitely really strike a great deal with them and a relationship that can last a long, long time. I bought so many cars for me, my family, TLD, either Michael in the middle, Hyla, Annie, all of them, along with many, many others, including Coach. So you can definitely check out Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota. They are both ready to wow you and make sure they get you a great deal. So let's think about guys that help themselves, guys that hurt themselves, and then let's start doing the strength of position groups. Okay, so start thinking about that. Best position groups on this team, because we just said, even though it feels like in certain spots it's kind of thin, this is as deep a roster as this team's had in a while. So best position groups and worst. Let's get into that. You guys can jump in as well. It's XL Primetime.
XL Primetime's Coach Dave Campo is brought to you by Bold City Heating and Air. Online at boldcityac.com. Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. These guys don't pull any punches.
Screw you. You owe me. You are totally out of control. You're going to get yourself killed.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
How are you going to stop me?
They are the drill.
I can stop you.
Weekday mornings on 1010XL.
It's the car, right? Chicks love the car.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and the long, lazy, and hot days of summer are in full swing. There's nothing quite like it unless you can enjoy summer worrying that your AC will break down. So do what I did and call the good folks at Fenwick Home Services. Book your tune-up with Fenwick's expert technicians to avoid those costly summer breakdowns. You can trust Fenwick to get your AC running again and get it done right the first time. Day or night, 24/7, Fenwick Home Services is here to keep your family cool and comfortable all year long. Book online at FenwickHomeservices.com.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Clearwater. John, I can't even mow my side yard. It's so soggy. Man, my builder sucks.
Brent, calm down. This is a common problem in neighborhoods where houses are built too close together. You need gutters and a properly installed French drain that will soak up subsurface water. We can completely dry it up.
So I can take my builder off my speed dial now, huh?
Yeah, we got you, buddy. Let that builder bitterness go.
Clearwater irrigation and drainage too.
Denny Thompson here. If you want to work with new tech security cameras or home automation, Tyson Sound and Security is a growing company looking for you now. Tyson is now hiring for sales, technician, and administrative positions. You'll start at the industry's most competitive pay, and they will train you. Apply online at TysonSoundandSecurity.com or call 762-1000. Tyson Sound and Security hiring sales, technicians, and administrative. Call 762-1000. Equal opportunity employer.
Looking to elevate your game night experience? Look no further than Best Bet. We're not just a card room, we're your destination for excitement, fun, and big wins. Whether you're a seasoned player or new to the game, we have something for everyone. Join us at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, or St. Augustine for thrilling tournaments, exciting promotions, and a vibrant atmosphere that will take your game night to the next level. Elevate your game night at Best Bet. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com.
it's hard to stop. The Tomahawk Chop.
I'm RJ Saunders. Follow Florida State's road to the college football playoff on the Seminole Report.
Brought to you by your local Ag Pro, your home team on 1010XL.
Roof damage? Call before you claim. Green Law Group, fighting insurance companies for you. They will work for you when you have roof damage. Don't let your insurance deny you. Don't call an adjuster. Call Green Law Group at 904-302-7055. Remember, if you have roof damage, call Green Law Group before you claim. They've settled millions and will work hard to get your claim and new roof. Green Law Group. Call before you claim. 904-302-7055.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. Hurricanes happen in Florida. That's not news. But what happens even more often than hurricanes are home break-ins. And if security is important to you, you might want to look into hurricane-rated impact windows.
What you may not know is that hurricane-rated impact windows not only help protect your home in case of a hurricane, but they also offer another level of security for your home.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube that show people trying to break through an impact window? A thief is way too lazy to spend his energy trying to break through one of our impact windows. That's why he doesn't have a real job like you. He'd rather break your non-impact window while you're at work. Window World has high-quality, very affordable hurricane-rated impact windows to help protect your home from hurricanes and from lazy thieves.
Call us today at 904-443-7001. Get a free estimate and see for yourself. You save energy, get more security, and the windows add value to your home. With all Window World windows, you get the best guarantee in the window replacement business.
Window World.
Simply the best for less.
And thank you for your business.
Craving a cold one? Well, zip into one of the great gate locations you see all over town and pick up a cold Bud Light, or a Natty, or an Ultra. Maybe a 12-pack of the King of Beers, or some cold Coronas. It's all happening at your local gate convenience store. Slide on in today.
What's changed totally inside and out? The Kuhn Flowers massive storefront, and yes, they've totally remodeled the showroom inside too. This is Frank Frangie, and the next time you drive by, stop and smell the roses at Kuhn Flowers.
Well, all the news forecasts say that home prices are expected to decline in 2025. Hey, that's great if you're buying a home. But if you're selling one, you might want to get to it. And when it comes to selling your home, the agents you should trust are Chad and Sandy Newman at chadandsandy.com. Maybe you want maximum equity from your home, but you're not sure how. And you don't want to worry about costly repairs or upgrades needed to sell your home. Those things are all out with Chad and Sandy. They're the local real estate experts you can trust, and I recommend for the sale of your home, or for the sale of mine for that matter. Maybe I should look into it. Hey, don't trust me. Trust Jacqueline from Biscayne Estates. My inherited home became a nightmare when it went unsold for 177 days and ended up with a large lien. With expenses mounting for my handicapped daughter and no way to pay, I was desperate. At this point, I turned to Chad and Sandy. The change was amazing. Chad and Sandy sold my home in 3 days at a higher than asking price. Find out for yourself at chadandsandy.com or 904-414-6200.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, the wide receiver position is one of the ones that has been making money this offseason. They're printing money. And this coming from a former star, Chad Ochocinco, former Bengals. Chad Johnson says Jamar Chase won't touch the field without a new contract. And then the tweet from NFL Rumors finishes out, many experts around the league share his opinion. So now you're looking at another guy that wants to get paid and knows that his value right before the season starts, when they have aspirations of making a run in the AFC, that's the perfect and peak time to do it. But you got CeeDee Lamb sitting over there sitting out. You got Ayuk who wants a new deal. And Jamar, if you're adding it up, who's the better guy? Who's the better player? Jamar's ahead of those guys, right?
Yep. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
He's ahead about just about everybody that position in the league.
Yeah.
Except Justin. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
He's right
over Justin, too. Yeah.
He's top three, man.
Okay. Oh, absolutely top three.
Yeah. You could go Tyreek. You could argue.
I would go Tyreek in the morning.
Probably put Jamar over Tyreek. Because he could do so much. And he has just, even though he's not as fast as Cheetah, he just does so much. So that's going to be one worth watching.
Well, the wide receivers in those positions understand their leverage. And you in this league, you only have a small window when you have leverage, and you got to seize that opportunity because if you don't let these guys play, if you don't give them a new deal, then you're doing a disservice to your quarterback.
Yeah.
So this is the entire quote. This was Chad Johnson on Adam Schefter's podcast. He believes Jamar's deal will get done probably sometime this week, definitely before the season starts, because I'm sure Joe Burrow will probably grow frustrated at some point not having his top receiver out there. He's not touching the field because certain players, they can separate their love for the game and business. If it was me, I would have been out there practicing, deal or no deal, I don't care. But on the business side of things, Jamar and his team understand how to do it, and this is the only way to get deals done.
Yeah, and you got to force the hand. And I love Jerry Jones going back to the CD Lamb saga. And Jerry's like, I'm not worried. I'm fine. Everything's good. And then he had to walk back the fact that he said, he's not worried. He's like, we love CD. We don't want to lose CD. We want him to play.
Listen.
And Jerry, Coach.
Listen, he threw out a number and he rejected it.
Yeah.
This last one.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to pay the guy if he's going to get him on the field. But he will get him on the field.
Yeah.
He is too important.
Yeah, you would think so. And Jamar to Burrow, CD to Dak, any of these guys, Ayuk, very valuable to Brock Purdy and any of their success. So any of those guys. And so you can be happy that you've got Christian Kirk heading into his third year of his contract after paying him so much money to begin with.
You can only hope that Brian Thomas Jr. becomes a guy like that.
Yeah.
That
Be a
where Trevor's
financial
like,
problem, right?
we got to have him. Yeah.
Just be a financial burden. It doesn't matter. That means you're balling. That means you're doing something. All right, so you guys can jump in. Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota Tuesday, but we would love to hear from you either on YouTube or on the text line. Guys that help themselves, guys that hurt themselves. And this is basically just looking at Saturday night's game. You might have watched all the practices in both games. You can come at it from any angle, but we're just talking about that particular opportunity because you didn't see a whole lot of starters. Mm-hmm. So let's start with who you think helped
themselves. Well, I got to go across the offensive line despite their troubles that they had in the preseason, giving up 5 sacks. The one guy who stayed consistent amidst all that chaos is Cole Van Lane. Mm-hmm. And here's the question you got to ask yourself with Cole Van Lane. Are you going to keep 4 tackles? All right, because you got Cam, you've got Walker Little, and you got Anton Harrison.
Yeah.
All right? So the perception is that Walker Little's going to be your swing guy. But Cole Van Lane, playing right tackle, I mean, he shut out. He didn't give up any sacks. He didn't give up any pressures. And he was the most consistent offensive lineman on the team in that particular game because amidst the pressures and the whiffs and the games the pressures that they gave up in the preseason game, he was the one consistent guy. And I don't know, he didn't do himself a disservice, but are you going to keep 4 tackles is the question.
I watched him a lot, and I agree with Leon. Again, he's one of those guys where you say, okay, we've got 3 really good tackles, okay, which they do, in my opinion. They've got 3 good ones. But we got this young guy, Foster, who didn't play great in the game, but you can see the talent level that he has.
Okay.
And he's probably going to be the swing tackle of the future.
Okay.
So Van Lannen's chances of making a team are not great, but they may be able to trade him. They may be able to do something with him because I tell you what, he played better than Foster in that game.
So let me throw this out there then, okay? If he played that well, and you are committed to Javon Foster, okay, then is it out of the idea to think that you would then say, all right, let's trade Walker Little before the season begins? See what we can get for him.
I don't think he played quite that
he didn't
good.
play that good.
Okay, well then that's my point. Well then that's kind of my point then.
But that's where you're at.
That's where you're at.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so you got to.
You're honestly talking about 2 guys basically.
Yeah.
One's young and one's kind of young, and you don't really know if either are any good.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so let me just read from PFF, okay? And like this is always our disclaimer. We may have to get the cyber lady to voice this every time, but basically PFF, you can take it or leave it. Whenever you like the stat, you refer to it. Whenever you don't, you pan it. That's just basically how it works. Well, anyway, for Cole Van Lanen, so far, 112 offensive snaps in the first 2 preseason games, and he's not given up a single pressure. Now that, Leon,
impressive.
Even though
that's
he may not be going up against guys that you're going to see on every roster every Sunday, but still.
But that's not his fault. That's not his fault. It's not his fault who lines up against him. His job, his duty is to make sure he keeps that guy off the quarterback. I mean, whether he's going up against a first, second, or third string guy, he's been the most consistent offensive lineman in that tier, in that group that haven't started.
Right.
As far as, not giving up pressures, not giving up sacks, being consistent with his play throughout the whole preseason.
Okay, so 112 snaps. That's a good sample size. I can't say that I've seen him stand out a bunch in training camp practices, but he also hasn't been a liability. So let's go back to our numbers before we get to the next guy that helped themselves, because this is going to be a constant math problem on the offensive side. I think we kind of all settled at 9 offensive linemen. Coach educated me a little bit last week, and I'm like, okay, I need to bring mine up from 8 to 9 because of where we are. Walker is the 6th guy. Blake Hance has to be considered one of your swing inside and outside guy. Although I look at Leon's face, he's like, okay,
he's just a guy. He's a guy.
Okay,
he's a try hard, but he gives up pressure.
Okay, so he may or may not make it in your mind. And then you got Luke Fortner.
Yeah, Fortner. Because they've got him playing center and guard.
Yeah. And so,
which made Tyler Shatley a liability.
Yeah, even though he got trucked the other night, he still is only in his third year.
Yeah.
And then you have Javon Foster. And so where do you land? Colt Van Lannon.
Let me just say this. That's not a lot of options backing up your starting offensive line.
Yeah,
okay?
it's not.
You got a lot of guys there.
Yeah.
A lot of just guys.
Well, true.
A lot of backup singers.
Yeah, but here's what I always argue. Every team's dealing with this.
You're right.
Every team is dealing with it. They figure out where they're putting their money, and it gets really thin after the first 22, or maybe you probably go 27.
That's why I think it's kind of a given that Tyler Shatley's going to get cut, and I don't know if you can cut him.
No,
at least he's. No, I mean, I think he's got to be on the roster. At least he's a guy that's played in the league and understands and has some technical ability and knowledge of what guys do.
Okay, so then are you putting Javon Foster on the practice squad as a 4th-round draft pick?
They have to. I mean, because look what you're dealing with. You're dealing with young Cooper Hodges, Young.
You throw him in there. I forgot.
Young. You're dealing with young. You got to have some. You got to have some veteran presence somewhere in the midst of your backups. I mean, because that's just young, and Foster.
Yeah, that's a lot. All right,
I'm not gonna sleep good at night.
Yeah, hit us with it. If you're on YouTube, you're watching the stream, let us know, because that is not an easy decision to make. You can throw in.
I hate to tell you, but if one of the guards gets hurt, I got a feeling that Walker Little's going to play guard, because they don't have anything at guard right now.
He might. Yeah, he might. And I don't want to gloss.
I know you're shaking your head, and I feel bad for Walker Little too. But guess what?
We've been down that road before.
I know we have, but you going to put one of those other guards in there?
I don't know.
Let me ask you guys this. Is trading for a guard at some point in the season on the table for you guys?
Yes. Because what happened?
It's a novel idea. Drafting one in the last draft would work too.
Not even trading, RJ. Looking at those cuts, looking around, and so conceivably you have a guy make your roster, and then you cut him and you go and get another guy who comes.
I mean, the teams that cuts the Wally Ovett is going to be in the same situation we in. They've got young, and this guy's old, and he's a cap casualty, and we can do without him because we got a much younger core. Yeah. So hopefully one of those guys,
a Shatley type guy,
one of those guys falls in our laps.
All right, so real quick, who helped themselves, Matt, Saturday night?
I keep saying this, but you guys keep telling me that he doesn't play special teams, so it's not going to work, or he doesn't defensive special teams. Training camp Trammell looks good, man. He catches every ball. He gets open, and he's got that burst. Yeah. Does he not, Dave?
Yes, absolutely. The thing I like about him is he does a number of different things, right?
Returns.
Yeah. The problem you have, as we were talking off air, is he might be at the wrong place at the wrong time because you have Washington and Duvernay.
Yeah, Duvernay is your man.
You're deep at returns and receiver.
And they're similar guys. They're slot guys that can run and quickness and all those kind of things.
So it makes him third on that chart, and then 6th or 7th
or even
or
4th
8th on the
because
other
Christian
chart.
Kirk's probably your third punt return.
Well, maybe. I'm not even talking about. They got Kirk too. He's a slot type guy as well.
So real quick, and then we'll get to the hurts. Who hurt themselves, but who helped? Who helped themselves?
Well, I'm going to say a guy that we probably. I'm still positive on the guys they took a year ago. Okay, so I'm going to say Abdullah helped himself in camp and in the game.
Nice.
Because he's shown me, in my opinion, that he can do two things and play special teams. If they think he's good enough to play special teams, he's going to make the team. Because right now, he has shown me that he can be an offline linebacker. And when I say offline, I'm talking about a Sam, a guy that can play on the tight end and is maneuverable enough and fast enough that he can rush the passer from there. But he also could possibly be a specialist pass rusher
Okay.
in a certain situation.
All right, so that's
because
a good
he
one.
does have those things.
That's a good one. I'll throw one of those veterans, be it Trey Flowers at corner or Terrell Edmonds at safety, is going to make this team.
Right.
And so they helped themselves really over the last couple of games, Trey Flowers in particular, this last game. So you guys can add to it. Who helped themselves? We'll get to who hurt themselves coming up. A Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota Tuesday. We got our head coach hanging out with us in the 2 o'clock hour. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us as well.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL.
Yo, if you've been following me on my bookie, you will know that I'm hitting for straight cash, homie. It's your boy E.T. And are you ready for the ultimate college football season? Using my bookie's sportsbook and casino platform, you can bet on every game and win anytime, anywhere, straight from your mobile device. No app necessary. Just click on the link, sign up, and you're ready to rock. Did you know that the average college football game runs about 180 plays? Every catch, sack, and touchdown is another way to hit that straight cash, homie, using my bookie. And when you bet with my bookie, you're not just watching the games, you're investing in every moment of the action. And I'm speaking from experience. A few bucks on the line can turn any regular game into one of the most exciting games of the season. So make sure you head over to my bookie. And don't forget to use promo code 1010XL when signing up to claim that $1,000 bonus on the first deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with my bookie. Come on, somebody.
Guys, feeling deflated in the bedroom? ED, low T, no energy? If your stuff is broken, call 904-STROKEN or 904stroken.com. No shots in the first treatment, now free. Fix your ED at 904stroken.com.
This is Tony Baselli, Pro Football Hall of Famer. I was known for protecting our quarterback. These days, I'm extending that protection to a different arena, your home. I have partnered with Heritage Roofing of North Florida, your premier local roofers with over 25 years of experience. Heritage is your go-to roofer for hurricane preparation with same-day inspections and estimates. They also work with all insurance companies. Let Heritage Roofing of North Florida safeguard your home and family. Visit heritagenfl.com for your free estimate today.
State license CCC 1335410.
Daytona always brings the drama.
Everything's on the line. The risk will be higher.
3 wide.
Look how insane this is.
Gunning to keep playoff hopes alive. It's now or never.
It's the most stressful night of racing that you'll ever go through.
For an unforgettable weekend of family fun, high wattage star power, and a front row seat full of fireworks. NASCAR weekend at Daytona International Speedway, August 23rd and 24th. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Now that's what I call high quality H2O. If you want high quality water throughout your home, call your local water boy. We install equipment to solve any water problem. WaterBoyJAX.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 20th, 1938, New York Yankees future Baseball Hall of Fame first baseman Lou Gehrig hits record 23rd and final Grand Slam in an 11-3 win over the Philadelphia A's.
If you're an experienced, skilled plumber or welder that's MedGas certified and you're tired of working for a company that just doesn't treat you right, Local 234 is the place for you. Their pay is the best in the business. You'll walk away with $35.09 an hour in your pocket. With benefits, that's just over $50 an hour. Local 234 has been around since 1901, and that means something. Visit UA234.com to send your resume. Local 234, make the right connection.
certainly facing challenging economic times. I can't speak for all of us. But for me, comforting to know my money is in good hands with ITP Partners. Ticket here for ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. I'll admit it, I don't understand a ton about the economy. Higher interest rates, 401ks. But I do know as I move closer to retirement, I continue to watch my money grow. Thanks to Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, and Reed Wingate. Get in the game, guys. ITP Partners. Always there to help. For more info, Chris at ITPPartners.com or call 904-312-9751.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes Summers here, so let's talk about something sizzling, making a Bacon 180 with a Waken 180. Imagine dropping pounds while still enjoying that crisp, savory goodness. Well, it's on the menu at Awaken 180, and one of the many reasons I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180 weight loss. I did it all while still enjoying so many of my favorite foods. The difference is, my coach showed me how to enjoy those foods the right way. Chicken, steak, pork, lobster, they're all on the menu. Awaken 180 caters to any diet or taste profile, vegetarian, vegan, omnivore, even flexitarian. I'm not kidding. That's a thing. They're all covered. The bottom line, if you want to lose weight fast and safe and keep it off with lifetime coaching, then make your own Bacon 180 with Awaken 180. Do what I did, Mike Dempsey and Hacker, and more than 21,000 others online at awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com.
Before termites attack your home or business and cause costly damage, Terminix it. At Terminix, we know how to stop termites. These destructive pests have been around for millions of years, but before they show up, so do we. And their time is up. Don't live with a termite problem? Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com. Terminix it.
Duck Rooter is hiring plumbers, CDL drivers, septic system installers, and helpers. We offer excellent pay and a full benefits package. Apply at duckduckrooter.com or call for details. 904-862-6769.
Equal opportunity employer.
Mia here. Get it all when you shop Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Just listen to this. Over 275 SUVs, over 200 cars, over 100 pickups, over 50 luxury vehicles. That's over 600 vehicles. And they're all in one location. Arlington Pre-Owned even has 125 vehicles under $18,000. Plus, you get Arlington's 60-day exchange program and financing help from their Credit for Everyone program. Shop online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
This is Dr. Michael Iorio, internal medicine physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Head coach Doug Peterson has liked what he has seen out of his 2023 draft class so far. Rapid improvement of homegrown guys that were drafted to Duval and get developed by this staff more consistently is a step in the right direction for the franchise. Here's Coach Peterson on what he likes out of his sophomore playmakers.
Yeah, those guys are really showing up. You know, they're making plays all over the field. And you saw Tank the other night, just how powerful he can be running the football and just improving, and great addition for the run game. And as you mentioned, Ventrell getting those reps. You look at all these guys, second-year players that are just getting opportunities. Part of that developmental theme, developing your roster and letting these guys perform.
I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Put your loving hand out, baby. I'm begging.
This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
We've got Coach for one more segment before we turn him loose, and he always gets that request in. RJ comes through, throws a little Frankie Valli his way.
February 1st,
yeah.
Florida Theater.
You're going to be there?
Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons.
You're going to be there?
Dave was dancing there.
Of course I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. A guy that could carry that note that long, that's a good one right
How
there.
old is he now, Frankie Valli?
He is close to 90.
Yeah, I think he's 90, actually. I think he is 90.
He might have just turned 90.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
And by the way, had to pay off a lot of debts for some of the bums around him, but still able to survive all of that, that's for sure. All right, before Coach leaves, and let's just stay on the Jags, and then we'll definitely throw some college football at you as we go along today. But we gave you the guys that helped themselves, at least the guys that we think helped themselves. And now we need to get to the idea that you're going to get guys really kind of grinding and pressing this last preseason game, Leon, to make sure that they make the squad because they might have hurt themselves a little bit this past week. That can get in your head, can it?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, and my guy that I think that hurt himself is probably I'm going to stay on the offensive line. I'm going to say Tyler Shatley. I'm going to say Shatley because he's become a guy, he's become a if all things equal type of guy, because he didn't distance himself from the youth. And more than likely, when it comes to the Jaguars team, they're gonna side on youth that maybe experience a little bit if all things are equal. So I think that he may have done himself a disservice, not elevating himself to a point where veteran status, where he's type of guy, he's reliable, because he's been a utility belt over the last couple of years.
Yeah, he has.
But now, got these young guys in here. The team will say, hey, we can move from this guy because this guy is younger and we could probably.
I can't believe you're cutting Gus's guy. I can't believe that you.
It hurts my heart.
Yeah. And he's already.
His greatest strength is his strength.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's already stated that this will be his last year. They may make it sooner than later if they make that decision. And heck, he's been a long timer, a charmer for that offensive line when they needed it. But you go to that level, Jaguar good or.
Yeah. But you know what he's also going to probably be? He's going to probably be that guy. They just tell him, hey, listen, settle in the wind. Somewhere late in the season, we may need you, may give you a call. He may be that guy, too, as well.
Yeah. Matty?
I'm pulling for him, too, man. I'm really pulling for Cooper Hodges to, show something and to show that he's the kind of guy they thought he was. But I'm not sure he's done that. I'm just not sure he's done that, not only in camp, but in games specifically. He's won, and I think, like I said yesterday, I think Elijah Cooks really hurt himself. I think the drop was bad, but I think as bad or worse was the hold on special teams.
That's the combo action.
Because he, as a sixth receiver, you've got to be a guy on special teams that goes out and just balls out. And Tim Jones is clearly the best guy for that spot.
Yeah.
Tim Jones is not the receiver that Elijah Cooks is. There's no doubt about that. But that spot, and Davis said this over and over, and you've said this over and over, isn't really a receiver.
Yeah.
It's a guy who plays special teams for you and who's very good at it.
And if you add it up,
I don't think Elijah Cooks is very good at it.
Yeah.
So you better be so good at receiver that they would keep you. And right now he's not so good at receiver.
Yeah, and if you add up, and let's just say call him the four core, which is what Tim Jones has been, kick protection, or kick return, punt, return. And he's been on all those teams. And you add up those number of plays versus what a sixth, or let's even call it a seventh wide receiver on a depth chart is going to do in a single game. He may have a dozen opportunities in 17 games as a receiver versus a dozen plays every single time.
It's literally 2 plays. Like if he catches that ball or if Mac hits him on that cross, and he has 2 catches for 50 yards, I'm not sure you're cutting him.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Even if he can't play, not as good as Tim Jones, I'm just not sure you're cutting that guy.
I know. It would have made it hard. And we made this point yesterday that there was a defensive penalty coach where he easily could have had that catch and turned upfield, turned it in, and that play obviously was ripped away from him with the penalty because Mac threw it. The guy picked it off, but then the flag negated it. And then another one where Mac didn't make an accurate throw. And then obviously Texter saying the same thing that we've been talking about, dropping that pass, splitting defenders, which is what Mac did. That could have been a big-time play.
Yeah, I feel the same way there. I love the guy because he gives you something that they don't have. And don't think that guy can't run now. Those deep crossing routes, if we get our running game going, you're going to see Kirk on a bunch of those. You're going to see Brian Thomas on a bunch of those. You're going to see you'd see Cook on both of those too. You know, I mean, he can run across the field. He's a big target. You know, we don't have that guy. I guess Gabe Davis is the closest thing that we have to that, right? He's a pretty tall.
My fear is he gets cut or put on the practice squad. Someone grabs him. He catches 30 balls.
I'm concerned there. Yeah. I would have to say that my guy that I think probably hurt himself in the game is Cooper Hodges. You know, I really think that he got. I mean, it's like Leon said, that when you whiff a guy when he's standing right in front of you, that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
And I've seen him be physical. I think he's probably a physical guy. But that's the only one that sticks out to me where you just flat out say this guy had a chance to make the team and might have hurt himself.
Like, what do you think about Cooper Hodges right now? You've been out to practice. We've all seen him in practice. You watched him in game. Where is he right now?
I still think he's a developmental guy. I think he gets overwhelmed by bigger opponents. I think he's scrappy, but I think he has his technical flaws. I mean, that whiff was just bad, bro. Bad and embarrassing.
I felt bad for him.
You had to feel bad for him. I mean,
well,
you had to feel bad for him.
Well, he went over and picked his quarterback up. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, do you think he has a spot in the roster just because?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, then I'll put this guy in the same category as like, oh no, as Crondo likes to say. It was Eric Hallett who had a very good week of practice, picked off a couple balls, and then Johnny Wolford ran him over. And he'll end up in the film room, tape room at some point. Like they probably have already gone over.
Oh yeah,
this.
they've gone over.
But look, I'm joking a little bit. But Hallett, when you get run over by how big is Johnny Wolford? We were talking about this the other day. And so anyway, he got zapped at the wrong time, and so it's tough enough what's happening back there on the back end of this secondary. As a matter of fact, let's make this the 10-10 take because Eric Hallett is a guy like Christian Braswell and a handful of these other guys that are just grinding to make sure that they can make this 53-man.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 tape. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmaster since 68.
About this time every afternoon, the hunger pangs get you, and that's Pangs. Never knew it. They were always pains to me, but if you're getting hungry, make sure that you head on to an area of Sonny's on the way home, pick it up. You can, of course, order up delivery. You can dine in. You can enjoy any of your area of Sonny's, and don't forget, when it comes to tailgating, they got it down. So we were adding it up during the break, and a guy like Eric Hallett, Braswell, any of these guys that are second-year guys trying to make this squad, think of the guys they have brought in. Terrell Edmonds, former first-round pick in, I believe, 2018. Trey Flowers, certainly a seasoned vet. Adrian Amos. They're bringing guys in. One was to deal with the Dewey Wingard injury, but the other one was to add experience. So you will have 4-year man Tyson Campbell on one side, 10-plus-year veteran Ronald Darby on the other side, Cisco in his 4th year, and then obviously when you take a look at the possibility, if you have a Trey Flowers or Terrell Edmonds or whoever it might be, behind either a Cisco or an Antonio Johnson and Darnell Savage at nickel, you've done nothing but add experience and depth to that secondary room. They need that because of the plays they gave up last year. That's the 10-10 take. I don't mind that veteran experience.
I would love for Flower. Edmonds going to make it, in my opinion, because Edmonds, because of Wingard. You know, Wingard is probably going to miss some time. Yeah. So however they handle that, that's you don't know what's going to happen there. But he's going to make the team. I would love for Flowers to make the team because he's shown me that he can still run. He's long, and with what they like to do with pressing, he's a guy you want because there's times when a DB has to go up and knock a ball down because somebody's got him beaten. Yeah. When you're pressing all the time, you're not going to be 100% in perfect position. Mm-hmm. And he brings that to the table. Plus, I've seen him tackle, and I've also seen him as a defender versus a gunner on special teams.
Right.
And he can run with any of the guys that we got running down on the gunners. So to me, I'd love to see him do it. It's just a question on, what do you do with a Prince? What do you do with a Jorian Jones? What do you do with some of the younger guys? That's where the decision is made, even with Van Lanen and Foster. I mean,
it's so funny. There's a question posed on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Is a Javon Foster a candidate for IR? And it's in quotations because you could come up with an injury if you have to make sure that you keep a veteran over him. But let's just say they look at it and they got to figure out where they are going to put him. You could have DeAndre Prince, Keelan Robinson, and Javon Foster, all draft picks, not make the 53.
Right. I'm still okay there, though. You know me. Yeah. I'm looking at this
as long as you draft
group.
And develop.
Abdullah, Strange, Bigsby.
Yeah.
These guys are going to be factors this year. I guarantee it. So the development is all part of it.
Got to develop them.
You know.
Yeah, I'm not happy with a fourth stringer not making. A fourth rounder not making the team.
And the only way they would do that is they'd exotic it. They'd IR.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but Foster hasn't done anything to distance himself to where he
I'm
can
not
make
saying
the travel
that.
squad.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying if it comes to that,
Yeah.
and he doesn't make the team,
That's not a good look.
You've chosen poorly.
You've wasted the draft.
Yeah. That's kind of what I mean by that.
Yeah.
And
Like a fourth round pick has to make your team.
Has to make
You
the
would
team.
think.
Yeah.
And they'd be guessing if they put him on the practice roster that someone would snap him up because of how highly he was drafted. They'd take a look at him anyway. But heck, you go back to last year, Tyler Lacey and Tyler was a fourth rounder, right? I'm pretty sure, yeah. Lacey and Ventrell were both fourth round picks. Those were the first two defensive picks that Balky made last year. And so one of those guys has to make something happen this year to kind of validate.
Correct.
Or neither one of them makes the team.
Well, Coach, we can go back. Coach, we can go back to the old school at Miami where you had to make the travel squad.
Right.
If could you say Foster right now, if it had to be done and said that he could play in the game, if it would deem necessary, that you've seen enough from him to where he could be consistent for 60 plays and play at a very high level? I would say no.
I would say no
I would
as
say,
well.
I would
right
say
now.
he couldn't make the travel squad.
Yeah, I would say
so if he
no
can't
right
make
now.
the travel squad, then how does he make the team?
So let me ask you this, okay? I'm asking both you guys this.
Yeah.
There are some guys that when they know they have to play, like they are pushed into the starter role, they play better, right? There are some guys like that, aren't there?
Okay.
Leon doesn't like those guys.
I don't
I'll tell you that.
those guys.
Right?
I know what you're trying to say.
know what I mean?
You're saying that you got guys when their numbers called, they show up. Is
It's
that
not
what you're
so much
saying?
show up. They just, I guess they prepare better. So that while they may not be as good as the other guy, they at least have answers.
Okay.
No?
I don't want that guy.
I know you don't want that guy.
I want a guy
get
that day in and day out on a consistent basis, that he's consistent, that where I can trust him enough that when Sunday comes around, if anything goes down, I can put him in the game and I don't have to worry. Foster is not that. He doesn't make the travel squad.
Bro, I'm not sure they have any backup linemen that's like that other than Mark Little.
What's his name? Lane. I mean, he. What I've seen enough from him in practice and in games is that at least you know that he is going to get in front of his guy and he's going to handle him. Well, just based on the preseason. Yeah. I've seen too many flaws and he's a rookie now. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I've seen too many flaws in his progressions, getting out of his stand. I mean, getting out, get to his angles, coming off the ball. And he's a rookie. I mean, so that's too big expected. But in this league now, you got to play. You got to come in well prepared.
Oh yeah.
I'm just going to say this real quick as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Foster's going to make the team.
Yeah, he's going to make the team.
Yeah.
He almost has to, right?
That's just my.
And I love it because I'm
not that I thinking he's any different than what Leon just said, but I've been there and sit in those rooms with the owners and the head coach, as an assistant and as a head coach. And, one of the young guys, if he's got any talent at all, they're not going to give him a chance to go to the
You're just
practice.
not cutting fourth round picks.
Oh yeah. No, like I said, it would be an exotic IR. That's the only thing I'm saying.
right.
And the texter pointed out because it absolutely is possible. But we'll leave Coach on that note. 'Cause every time he says it, I keep thinking of Jerry Jones when he says, Quincy's our quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, I'm a perfect example of it.
We're going to play Quincy. All right. Thank you, Coach, as always, for hanging out with us. We got a couple more off the text line. Like Breland Speaks has made a couple of weeks' worth of plays. Has he made the roster? We'll get into a few of those coming up. More college football. We know you want that. That's for sure. That's up in the 3 o'clock hour.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. It's Saturday night under the Daytona lights.
This race never disappoints.
NASCAR Coke Zero 400 at Daytona. Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234. From the station with the most horsepower, 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Injured in an accident? Have mounting medical bills? Can't work? Don't worry. Zach's got your back.
I'm Zach Von Rowan of Von Rowan Law. I will fight for the compensation that you deserve. Set up your free consultation at zachsgotyourback.com.
Brian Wall here. Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you be active, reach weight loss goals, and find your inner strength while you connect with your community. Family memberships at the Y include unlimited group exercise classes, childcare while you work out, and youth sports participation. It's easy to join the Y and affordable for all. Plus, the Y is a great place to meet a new circle of friends. Visit the Y near you or online at fcymca.org.
Go inside the huddle with our QB, David Garrard.
Hey, I know if you give me time, baby, we can do whatever we want.
And get into the head of an NFL signal caller. Mondays from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Brought to you by WaterboyJacks.com on 1010XL.
Family owned and managed for 20 years, Hidden Hills Golf Club boasts a unique and welcoming golfing atmosphere. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com to book your next round on our Arnold Palmer signature course. You'll be glad you did.
Looking for a new or used firearm? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach will get you locked and loaded. New firearms coming in weekly and always looking for used guns. No lines and no waiting. Online at beachesjewelryandpawn.com.
This is Mark Nato. My sons and I have seen the doctors and PAs at Southeast Ortho for everything from lumbar spine stress to elbow tendonitis. Southeast has always been there, been truthful, and always been on point. Everything they say happens. We can't thank them enough for what they've done and the great care that they have taken of our sons.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Julington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Right now, they're on their way to ruin your day. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. And if you're not prepared, you will suffer. Yes, it's that time of the year. Heat and humidity are attacking North Florida. But help is at hand. Call Mike Merritt's Heating and Air Conditioning. Mike Merritt has a license to chill and lets you maintain your comfort zone at a bargain price. How? Mike Merritt stands ready to help, routine or emergencies. And Mike Merritt knows emergencies can happen at any time. So with Mike, there's never any overtime charges. And Mike's team works without commissions. Merritt will never try to sell you parts you don't need. You can't trust just anyone with a truck. Call Mike Merritt, the company North Florida has trusted for 35 years. Call today. License number CAC 050384.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update, brought to you by Southern Oak Insurance. The Florida Gators completed scrimmage number 2 of training camp this past weekend. Coach Billy Napier spoke with the media yesterday, stating this is the most depth they've ever had.
It's very evident that there's great competition. We definitely have more depth than we've ever had. And it's a long season, right? We will need everybody. We're going to need every single person. I think it's important that we embrace our role and we work hard to earn more. Depth is critical in this league and certainly with the schedule that we have.
The Gators are 11 days away until they open their season against Miami in the Swamp. Over in Nashville, the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp take on the Sounds for a 6-game series with first pitch tonight at 7:35. It's 93 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
Well, we've been kind of tearing through the roster first half of our show. We'll keep doing it a little bit here or there, and then building up to Friday's final preseason game, figuring out who's going to make it, who's not going to make it, that's for sure. And it's so funny when you start kind of picking apart the roster or the draft picks, you definitely can see some things that are still missing, that's for sure. 3 o'clock hour, Joe C., Matty Hayes, Big Leon Searcy, the Hurricane Hall of Famer, getting ready to lay down a big bet next week with Florida, Miami. Can't wait to see how that goes. You guys can definitely jump in. We appreciate everybody who's been jumping either on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures or on YouTube in the chat on the MyBookie Digital Studios, and who helped themselves, who hurt themselves, how they're going to make this roster, all that kind of stuff. So we will definitely stay on it. But we got to go to the side here just for a second, because we just finished up a conversation. This is what every once in a while we need to post this just on Instagram as a story, okay? But we'll set it up, Leon. RJ has never had blank and blank.
Yeah, RJ has never had snow. He's never had crabs or lobster.
No crab legs.
No crab legs. No lobster.
So no Jameis Winston.
None.
No Willie Williams. No none of that.
He's doing himself a disservice. I'm a little disgusted by it, to be quite honest with you.
You were disgusted by me doing my job when we were at training camp years ago.
Yeah, you were. What I called you?
Tourist.
Tourist. Yeah, you look like a tourist out there filming everybody and stuff. That's crazy. Well, bro, I mean, you've never had the urge to like.
I never said I didn't. I've just never had it.
So let me ask you a question. You've been to Red Lobster, right?
Yes.
And you what do you order when you get there?
I would always get the shrimp.
Okay.
He went AUCE.
You know they're closing all the Red Lobsters too. So you're
that time is running out.
Yeah. By the way, to be fair to RJ, I have never been to Red Lobster in my life.
Oh, see, there you go.
But when I was growing up, that was the place, man. That was the holy grail.
Yeah,
like if you went to Red Lobster, that was it.
The bread is amazing.
Your family's made it. But let me tell you something. You not going, that's still a win. That is still a win.
I still sometimes think I got to go in there just for the hell of it.
No, you don't.
No. I'm not missing anything?
No, you do not.
No, listen, in the 90s when I was in school, if you took a young lady to Red Lobster, you were doing something.
That's what I'm saying.
She would come tell her friends, girl, he took me to Red Lobster.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was like you had to make a choice. Olive Garden.
Yeah.
For nice romantic.
True.
Or make sure you treat her right at a Red Lobster or whatever the other chain was. Listen, when we were kids coming up to Jacksonville, living in the coming up to Jacksonville, if you went to a Bennigan's or one of those places, you'd done what Leon's describing.
Oh,
you hit a little bit of a home run.
Yeah, absolutely. You take a young lady out to those
laid the groundwork. What you're saying?
Oh, it's you on.
It's on.
On like popcorn, baby.
You remember Houlihan's there in Regency Square?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. You remember, of course. And then if you went a step up and you went Chart House or
that was next level. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, you haven't done anything until you've taken one of those cheese biscuits and you've broken bread with a young lady and you feed her with it.
Really? I'm missing out on that?
Yeah, man, you missed out on that. It was
need to be
90s,
thinking
bro.
about it.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, we grew up on St. Aug seafood, so we never, the only time I ever can remember going to a Red Lobster, we were up it was brother-in-law's basic training graduation.
Right.
Okay, future brother-in-law. And we all went up there to see him graduate. And so we all went and celebrated, and either he picked it or somebody picked it. Anyway, it was right there up in South Carolina, so it was close to it. So after that, one of our guys, Custer, in our group, got hepatitis. So if there was ever a chance that I was ever going to go back, no way. No way.
Anyway, long story short, minus the hepatitis, RJ, go to Publix, get a lobster tail and some Irish butter.
Ask for the Jameis
Turn
special.
your grill on, okay? Throw that lobster tail on there, pull it off, put some butter on it. It's the best thing you'll have ever.
I got you.
And I'm of the belief, if I ever retire and go up to Maine, I'm going to show them, because they got the cold lobster rolls. Okay.
Oh, I love those.
They're good. They're really, really good.
Yeah.
But I would like to grill, like Matt's talking about.
Oh, yeah.
And just have one of those stands on the side of the road and just grill it.
Grilled
for
lobster
them.
tail is nothing like it.
And they will love it. They will love it.
Nice.
All right, that's just total aside. Let's get back to what we were doing. Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota Tuesday.
I might have to go to Red Lobster.
Yeah,
after the show.
yeah, you might have to. All right, so we went through the help and hurt, and I think honestly, even though we have poked holes in a few of these spots, and the question is being asked on the text line, Keelan Robinson, another guy that probably should have been a guard, and there's no question. You go back and look and see any of our comments on X or wherever at the time, there was some second guessing going on. That Christian Mahogany made it all the way into the 6th round and did not get selected by this team. And so there are guys interiorly that you had your eye on. I know we all went through our drafts on a regular basis leading up to him. We brought those guys up a bunch. Anyway, Keelan was a curiosity. There's no doubt about that as far as being drafted.
Well, it's to me, it's odd. Again, we were talking about this during the break. I understand the philosophical idea of we're going receiver to help Trevor. I get that. Okay? That's fine. But don't tell me you're good on the offensive line. Don't say, they only played one time together in the game they played together. They got annihilated against one of the worst teams in the league. And then in the 4th round, you take a tackle instead of a guard.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need a tackle. You need a guard.
Yeah. And by the way, they may have viewed Javon Foster as an interior guy when it's all said and done, because he's a big human being that can move, and he could be viewed.
I don't think I've seen it. Has he played guard at all in camp?
No, I've seen him more at tackle, and I've seen him I honestly can't say 100%.
I don't think I've seen him play a snap at guard.
Yeah. I don't think I did either. Stuff's happening so fast. At training camp, your eyes are everywhere, but at least that's what I thought might be a possibility.
Yeah.
Based on what he did at Mizzou, and I think we even had Eli on, Coach Drinkwitz, after he was drafted, and he basically said he's a tackle.
Yeah.
But that he definitely, his body type could be built for an NFL guard.
Yeah, I mean, but all camp we've seen him play left tackle or right tackle, right? Mm-hmm. And to think that a guy who's played left tackle or right tackle all his career in college is just going to transition to the league, that's not an easy task, bro. I'm telling you. Listen, there's some grown folk stuff down in there that you if you're not equipped for, you're going to get run over, bro.
Yeah.
I don't care how big a body you are. You need to be a furniture mover.
I mean, Walker Little's a perfect example, right?
Walker Little's a perfect example. That little experiment that they tried to do last year. I told you that week when they were trying to. I said, bro, that's bad. That's bad news. Just to assume because he's a big body guy that he can just make that transition. Man, if you don't get low, if you don't get your hands on people, you're going up against guys that are 6'4". 6'3", 340, 330. That just you're talking
Vita
about
Vea.
You're talking about Vita Vea.
Exactly. And I keep thinking of Coach O, Eddie O, bowling balls and butcher knives.
That's it.
And so that's honestly how tough it can be inside. I don't know whether you're going to be able to see that guy in the future turn into that. I don't know. But you have upright guys, like I said,
bro.
Ezra and Mitch
He's
Morse.
upright.
They're more upright guys.
Have you seen his calves, bro?
Don't.
Okay, I'm just telling you, bro. He's long and lanky, bro.
Yeah.
He's no brute. We need brutes.
When I interviewed him, I was looking at the stash.
No, I'm just saying you need some Popeye thighs. I mean Popeye calves, bro.
Yeah, you do.
You need big ass and big thighs.
Exactly.
And that's not what they have.
Exactly. Because if you don't get low and you don't squat and you don't get your hands inside the guys that are like 6'3", 340, bro, they're gonna run you over.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Big asses and big thighs. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Off the text line, and I'm amused with our sidebar. We always get into it. One texter, I live in Minnesota, and they honestly talk about, I'm just going to call it RL for right now, that food chain. RL has good seafood. And another one brought it up, and this is kind of taking me back because I haven't seen any of these. Steak and Ale in the 90s was good.
They're no longer, right?
Yeah, I don't believe so.
Yeah.
And so when he texted us in, that kind of just took me back.
They were weren't they the parent company of Bennigan's or like?
Maybe.
Isn't that
but
they were like the high end Bennigan's, right?
Yeah.
I never went to Steak and Ale.
Really?
You know, a steak place I used to go to, Ponderosa. Remember Ponderosa?
Yes.
Is that not old school? When I was a kid, my parents used to pull up.
That's now Texas Roadhouse.
I was just saying, when my parents used to pull up to Ponderosa, I knew I was going to eat some good steak, baby.
One of our prime timers, I got to show you this, Leon. Sunday in the backyard, and he's got nothing but beautiful crab legs. Oh my gosh, that looks good. That definitely looks good. And may have to give RJ that recipe. And
RJ's never had oysters either, right?
Yeah. Have you had oysters?
I don't know
RJ?
what kind of world you're living in, RJ. Seriously.
No, listen, I've been very limited in my seafood menu. It's been catfish and shrimp.
All right, so that's where we are.
That's not
At
bad.
the very least,
that's a good start. It's a good foundation. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, but there's a broader spectrum.
Yeah. I grew up.
Y'all got to put me on.
So, I grew up on mullet because we were poor, and so I believe me, that's nothing but bait these days. So I know what you're saying. And my mom loved catfish. Just absolutely loved catfish. And so we just need to just get it out there just a little bit for you, RJ. That's all. And especially if you do line up a date, let us know, and maybe we'll pop for those crab legs.
You know what's funny? It's like I'll mention like mullet dip to my buddies, and they'll look at me like I'm crazy. But man, mullet dip.
Oh, the great Menorcan. Like we grew up. My grandmother, the three Ponce sisters, trace our roots all the way back to the Isle of Minorca and Ponce de Leon, all that kind of stuff. And so anyway, they would grow up. And you would have someone that would run down the street and yell, mullet on the beach, mullet on the beach. And they would print up the T-shirts later and for the Menorcan Society. Because when you had mullet on the beach, you had to go catch your food for the next handful of days and weeks or whatever. So KC, we had this old 57 Chevy, and it was a bad A machine with those big old military tires, could go anywhere on Volano. Anyway, middle of the night, with the spotlight, cast nets, and just throwing nets. And I'm telling you, truck beds full of mullet. And then stay up cleaning them and freezing them and getting the roe out and putting them in. So KC could have that with his eggs on Sunday. I'm telling you, man, yeah. All right, I love this. We're getting some of these old school Sizzlers and Quincy's and Ryans and some of those old ones. All right, keep it coming. We're having fun with it. It is XL Primetime, Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota Tuesday. We have got to work some college ball in. So let's do that coming up. FSU, Georgia Tech, just days away as week 0 has finally arrived.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. This is Duval. This is Jacksonville Sports Radio, 1010XL.
Jennifer, Luxury has a new address in Jacksonville.
Oh, do tell, John.
Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard. We've got over 40 Cadillac Lyrics in stock.
40? That's incredible. Any color you want?
You bet. Pick your color and drive away today. Plus, we're giving away a free home charger with every Lyric.
Fantastic. Anything else?
How about a car you'll never have to change the oil on?
No oil changes ever? Now that's luxury.
Randy Marion Cadillac, where Jacksonville meets luxury.
Visit us today on Southside Boulevard and tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Hi, I'm Frank Frangie, and I've depended on South State for my banking needs as long as they've been serving Duval.
Whether you're saving for retirement, purchasing a home, starting a business, your goals are their commitment. With forward-thinking, personalized banking solutions and best-in-class service, South State is ready to help you navigate your financial journey. Connect at southstatebank.com or drop by any of the 5 local South State offices. South State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Jags fans, a new Everbank Performance account could be your ticket to London this October. Through the Everbank London Getaway, one lucky winner and a guest will receive round-trip airfare, hotel accommodations, and a pair of tickets to see the Jags play in London. To learn more and for official rules, visit everbank.com/London. No person necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of 50 United States and D.C. 18 or older. Entry period for the Everbank London Getaway Suites is from 8/5/24 to 9/5/24. To enter in for official rules, alternate method of entry, prize description, odds of winning, and other details, visit everbank.com/London. Sponsor and administrator, Everbank N.A.
This is Josh Woolsey with Woolsey Morecambe. Woolsey Morecambe is your MVP in the legal game. Our team of skilled attorneys tackle personal injury cases with compassion and expertise. With fumbles like a car or truck accident, we're here to seek the compensation you deserve. Right here in Jacksonville, we've successfully won over $100 million and earned a championship-worthy record. When it's game time, you want a team that plays to win. Contact Woolsey Morecambe at 1-800-WOOLSEY. Offices, Jacksonville.
This is the sound of turning small bets into legendary wins. Only on the Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook app. The sound of parlays. The sound of paydays. The sound of watching the game will never be the same. Hard Rock Bet has already paid out millions and millions in parlays to people across Florida. Download Hard Rock Bet now, and if your first bet doesn't win, get up to $100 back as a bonus bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to play. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Cooking with Prisco.
These things are wonderful. You're going to love it. Have a rolling.
Catch CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco every Friday afternoon on The Franchi Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on 1010XL.
Former Jaguars corner and first-year head football coach at Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows, K-12, Aaron Beasley here. Are you looking for an A-rated K-12 school prioritizing academics, arts, and athletics? Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows offers a rigorous curriculum to develop strong minds with an additional focus on growing good hearts. DCSB has been an A school for 8 years, and our tuition is free. Now enrolling. Apply at baymeadowscharter.org.
Here come Rock and Roll Hall of Famers. Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. The Last Encores. Saturday, February 1st at Florida Theater. Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Tickets on sale now at floridatheater.com. Don't miss Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons live.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, an asphalt marketer from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Sheldon Fish. Today's category, air conditioner repair experts in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, I bet it's going to be Bueller.
Your question. Unlike Jacksonville, the Sahara Desert has a complete lack of air conditioner repair experts. What kind of camels do they ride?
That's not really a question about air conditioner repair.
5 seconds.
But that's a camel question.
Pick a camel, Sheldon.
Arabian dromedary.
That's right, Sheldon. Like the majestic Arabian dromedary, the skilled technicians at Bueller Air and Plumbing can repair any make and model of air conditioner the same day you call, making sure you are cool.
They don't spit, do they?
No, but Steve, the new guy, has a bit of a hump.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Dandy subs and sandwiches. Look, we always want you to think about those great options as you're driving around Duval. But the beauty is, even as I'm dropping pounds, Dandy's got great options for me as well. Told you all about their protein packs, delicious salads that they have out there. They have fruit cups for on the go. You know what they have. Veggie snack trays. You can grab those on the go as well. Perfect, healthy snack. Dandy is the name to know when you're on the go. So stop into a Gate store anywhere around Duval and make yours a dandy and do it today.
When all you have is a hammer, everything is a nail. I'm Dr. George Bari, and like me, I know you have been bombarded with PRP and stem cell treatments from companies that promise the world and charge prices to match. Or the surgeon that convinced you the only way to treat your injuries through surgery. At Bari Orthopedics, we offer the best PRP treatment on the market with prices that won't cost you an arm and a leg. We also have the expertise to treat your injury surgically if that is what it entails. We can discuss all surgical and non-surgical options with you and make sure you get the best treatment available. Come see me, Dr. George Bari at Bari Orthopedics.
1010XL is presented by Barra & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This will get us to a handful of big stories in the college world that are worth digging into right now. And then we'll zero in on our local schools, talk a little Florida State, Georgia Tech, a little Florida Miami. But this one got me. Oklahoma State unveils QR codes on helmets linking to the NIL fund for 2024 college football uniforms. How about that? They are having a QR code that I'm guessing you can scan from the stands. The Oklahoma State football players' helmets will have the QR code, and basically you can create a general team fund, which they've done, and you can donate for the student athletes to use. I guess the school will figure out exactly how they're going to do that.
I think you can also do it like with photos. Like if you're online, you're seeing it online.
So you'll have the QR code there too.
There, yeah.
Isn't that wild? And so
smart. I think it's very smart, actually.
Yeah.
Because you can get people that are caught in the moment. Like if you get a huge upset win or you get a big win on the national stage and you get people that are, all right, yeah, let's do it. Click, boom, done.
The other part I like about it is that could just be across the board for the whole team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I mean, is that the individual player? Is that for the university?
It's the kitty.
So you put
it's the kitty that pays the players.
It's just like Annie and up.
Yeah,
put it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't have no problem with that.
No.
Now, once the tip jar is full, I mean, I can go get my cut.
Yeah. Well, you'll get yours on top of if you're the All-American, which you were.
There it is.
You get but they need.
That's how they're going to pay the All-American. That's how they're going to get guys out of the portal.
Yeah, they need some spam dollars too, just to spread it across every player that's on the team, that's on Scully. And those are, like we've talked about it before, they may basically say you're going to get $100,000 or whatever it is to basically maintain your scholarship status, meaning go to class, do all that stuff, and make sure you keep earning a spot on this team.
And Matt is right, because we have a tendency to be prisoners of the moment.
Hell yeah!
After a big win, a donor scans that Q card. He made that QR code, and he may donate $100,000 or that kind of money because he's emotional. Coming off a big win like that, I love it.
He gets all fired up. All right, I got to give you another one that is in that NIL world that I'll bring up here, but I wanted to bring this other one up because, RJ, I don't know if you have the sounder, but we would always play it when they're about to get on a plane, when they're about to travel. So look and see if you've got that. But Delaware State plays at Hawaii Saturday night. Delaware State missed today's 10.5-hour flight to Honolulu after a, quote, snafu at JFK Airport. And so now they're scrambling, trying to figure out how the A's are going to get there.
Well, we know they can't bus. So they got to figure it out.
Bus ride.
Oh, well, I'm just saying.
At the very least, to the West Coast, it's a bus ride.
I know.
That is just awful.
Speaking of games this weekend, it's kind of under the radar, but it's interesting. Montana State, an FCS school, plays at New Mexico.
Yeah.
Montana State, the FCS school, is a 10.5-point favorite. That shows you how bad the New Mexico program is right now.
Oh, it's not been good for a while.
But it's
the Aggies
really
have picked it up,
now.
right? The Aggies have picked it up
a little bit, yeah. Neither one of them are any good, to be honest. But the Aggies are a little bit better than the university, yeah.
Yeah. So the Aggies are the fighting Robert Reeves, as I like to call them. They're at least competitive. Lobos, not so much.
No.
Not so much.
And Montana State, granted, is a top 6-7 FCS school.
Yeah.
But still, that's 10.5-point favorite on the road at New Mexico.
All right, so let's do one more as far as the world of
And they
college.
get paid to do that, by the way.
Yeah.
New Mexico's paying them to come there.
Okay. All right, let's
It's
do
like one of those win games.
Yeah, exactly. Just kind of buy it a game. All right, one more in the All-America world with Colorado and Shedeur Sanders. He was left off of the AP preseason All-America team, and the question has been asked, do you think he was snubbed? Well, Carson Beck is the first-team quarterback on the All-America team. That makes okay sense. Second-teamer, you might debate this a little bit, but second-team quarterback is Dylan Gabriel. I think he's terrific. I loved watching him in a UCF Knights uniform, and then he went on to be a Sooner. He's going to have the Technicolor Dreamcoat Letterman's jacket when it's all said and done. But any problem with him being second-team versus Shedeur?
No. I mean, if you look at the AP, the first team and second team, the one thing they have in common, they've got wins.
Yeah.
They've got double-digit wins. Now, not to knock on Shedeur. I mean, he's an amazing talent. He's a phenom, and more than likely, he's going to be a top 10 pick when it's all said and done next year. But quite frankly, the more deserving players that go on the AP All-American are guys who are good on very good teams.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that their team was 4-8.
Yeah.
And that's just the bottom line of it.
Right.
I mean, if you want to get recognition nationally, then not only you play better, your team play better.
So I got a couple thoughts on this. And first and foremost, kind of like an overriding thought is Deion now is like Trump. Anytime you want to say anything, get anybody going, you mention Deion.
Yeah.
And everybody just loses their mind about it. And number two, I will say this. I think Shedeur, if we're talking about just talent, I think he's probably the best quarterback in the country. But
he's got a boatload of talent.
He's unreal.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the stuff he can do is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I would have loved to have seen him sign with Alabama, which is what he should have done all along instead of going to Jackson State. But that's another story for another time. And Nick probably would still be coaching Alabama had he signed with Alabama. I just, at the end of the day, college awards and college All-American teams are not really that big of a deal. And because it's Deion's kid, it's now become a big deal because that's the easy thing to do now.
Sure.
And I hate the whole idea of, quote, left off. What does that even mean?
Yeah, I know.
Left off.
It just means he wasn't voted one
or two. He wasn't voted by the guys that vote for it to be on the teams. He wasn't left off anything. And to Leon's point, his team won 4 games last year.
Exactly. That has a lot to do with it.
It does. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, put a better team around him so he can showcase his talent even more.
Right. And when it's all said and done, Shedeur still has a chance to be a highly drafted player.
Could be a first overall pick.
A highly decorated player in college football. It just so happens that right now, and there's one also in Colorado, dude made I think a $10,000 bet that will pay $250,000 if they were to, I guess, win the Big 12 or whatever.
Right.
And so, they're basically treating it like, is that just a donation?
Yeah, he just literally he just gave money to Vegas.
Yeah. And so I'm looking at the preseason All-America team, and I see a lot of accomplished football players. And Shedeur is. Travis Hunter is on this All-America team. He's deserving of it,
Another
right?
really good player, yeah.
Yeah, because of what he's been able to do basically on both sides of the ball. But you got Carson Beck, Ollie Gordon, talented Oklahoma State running back, Will Campbell, who we mentioned earlier when we were talking about some of the top players in the country that will be drafted very high as well. He is right there as far as one of the top offensive tackles. LSU has got a couple of other guys there as well that are on this team.
Emory Jones is probably on the second team, I would guess, the other tackle for them.
Yeah, maybe. Let's see here. You've got Donovan Jackson, 4th year out of Ohio State. Tate Rutledge, very, very good player.
He's a 5th-year guy, Georgia.
Is
really
he?
good.
Is he 5th-year guy?
I think he's 4th or 5th year.
Yeah.
I mean, he might be a good guy for this franchise to look at in the draft next year. Just saying.
Well, or
you might need a guard at some point.
Hey, or the center out of Alabama. He's also right there, Brailsford. You got the tight end out of Michigan, Colston Loveland. Luther Burden, we know how good he is. And so he's one of the top guys that is being recognized. There's a few other guys that are on that first team All-America that are 100% recognizable. We'll get to a couple more of them coming up in just a second.
I also think it's Shedeur. It's the position. Like, there can be other guys on the first team whose teams are not that good, whose teams won 4 games last year, but it's the position he plays. You can't be a quarterback and your team wins 4 games and you're going to think you're going to get on that team.
No. And Carson Beck is on a team that's favored to win the Natty that went unbeaten.
So is Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah. And Dylan's, they're getting high odds as well out in Oregon.
And that's another reason why, I mean, Shedeur may be one of the, candidates for the Heisman, but Heisman winners, I can't remember a time that a Heisman Trophy winner was on a losing team. Has there ever been? Because it's kind of goes hand in hand. Yeah, absolutely, goes hand in hand. So I mean, he can go out there and throw for Paul Hornung.
Paul Hornung's the only one.
Paul Hornung might be the only one. Absolutely, yeah. But so I mean, he's got to be on the better team if he wants to get he wants to get the recognition that he's looking for. But it doesn't mean anything. Next year he's going to be top 5 draft pick. What does all that matter?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm scanning here though, All-America, and Brian Kelly has got one on each side of the ball.
Kyle Perkins?
Yeah. And if Perkins has the type of year that they're hoping for from him, then he'll be another breakout player this year. Brian Kelly's done an unbelievable job down at LSU. All right, we'll keep it going. A little more college football talk coming up. And then back to your Jags before we are done. It's XL Primetime, Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota Tuesday. Don't forget, log on and walk on the lot and just be treated the way you want when it comes to buying or relying on the service that goes along with it. You can get it at Beaver Chevy on Phillips, Beaver Toyota in the AUG on US 1. We're staying on college football, but then back to some of the text and chats from you guys as far as your Jaguars who helped make the team Saturday night.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
What makes a Honda certified pre-owned vehicle so special? 182-point inspection, 24/7 roadside assistance, first-year free oil changes, and a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty for carefree driving backed by American Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood. Clayton, I've got a simple question. How much does a 1-carat diamond cost?
Frank, that's an impossible question to answer because a carat is only a measure of weight for gemstones. It'd be no different than me saying, I have a beautiful wife. She weighs 125 pounds, which you'd find is a ridiculous description. Diamonds are graded for 4 factors, and carat weight is only one of those factors. The others are cut, color, and clarity, and each of these factors is graded specifically and set by a certified gemologist in an accredited gem laboratory. So when you ask about a diamond's weight, we're going to tell you more than just the price. At Underwoods, we want a customer to understand how all 4 factors of diamond quality relate back to the rarity and value of the diamond. Needless to say, we all understand the value of a dollar. At Underwoods, we want our customers to know what their dollar buys in diamond value. So if you're shopping for the best, stop by Underwoods.
That's at Underwoods in San Marco, in Avondale, or at the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Hey gang, Hicken here for Zero Res. Man, it is hot outside this time of the year. Many of us are staying inside or going to the pool. Well, my friends at Zero Res are also heating things up. As you know, Zero Res does a great job of cleaning carpets and rugs. But they also clean luxury vinyl planking, tile and grout, fine stone and hardwood floors. And right now, the hottest price of the year, 25% off all hardwood cleaning. That's 25% off tile, LVP, fine stone, and hardwood floors. Zero Res, man, spell it forward. Zero Res, spell it back. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Hacker here with a new opportunity for you. The 20-pound summer slim down with Awaken 180 weight loss. Dropping 20 pounds before summer ends, cruising to your goal of 30, 40, 50-plus pounds down. It's simple. You take the last few weeks of summer, eating, drinking, enjoying the weather, but the difference? You're doing it with the 20-pound summer slim down. But you say, Hack, summer's almost over. Well, that's the point. The pounds melt off fast with Awaken 180. I dropped my first 20 in less time, and that easy 20 propelled me to reach my goal of losing over 85 pounds. Think about it. You're about to slide back into the same old fall routine with the same old mindset. Mix it up. Live up the rest of your summer while dropping the first 20. Then jump into fall with a whole new groove. Yeah, I said it, and you'll be saying it too in just a few weeks. 20-pound summer slim down with the solution for weight loss. Online, awaken180weightloss.com.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Lauren Brooks here. Circa Resort and Casino has an incredible all-in package for Duval in December. For only $500 tax and resort fee included, get a 3-night stay at Circa, $200 food and beverage credit, plus a day bed at Stadium Swim. With 6 temperature-controlled pools and a massive screen, it's the world's largest hot tub party. Join us Heels Friday night for a Jacksonville pep rally with specials and giveaways. To book the Jacksonville game day getaway and join the Heels in Vegas, visit circalasvegas.com today.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 20th, 1938, New York Yankees future Baseball Hall of Fame first baseman Lou Gehrig hits record 23rd and final Grand Slam in an 11-3 win over the Philadelphia A's.
Make the move to ABS, Advanced Business Solutions, and you won't hear your employees complain about the copier anymore. Instead, you'll hear this. Advanced Business Solutions, your local Xerox dealer.
Right now, they're on their way to ruin your day. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. And if you're not prepared, you will suffer. Yes, it's that time of the year. Heat and humidity are attacking North Florida. But help is at hand. Call Mike Merritt's Heating and Air Conditioning. Mike Merritt has a license to chill and lets you maintain your comfort zone at a bargain price. How? Mike Merritt stands ready to help, routine or emergencies. And Mike Merritt knows emergencies can happen at any time. So with Mike, there's never any overtime charges. And Mike's team works without commissions. Merritt will never try to sell you parts you don't need. You can't trust just anyone with a truck. Call Mike Merritt, the company North Florida has trusted for 35 years. Call today. License number CAC 050384.
I-9 Sports wants to make sure kids all over the First Coast can enjoy growing up on a field or in a gym. And right now, fall and winter registration is open. Find out what I-9 Sports offers across Duval, Clay, and St. John's. I9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount.
This is Dr. Turner Vossler, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
As the regular season approaches, personnel moves will be made more and more frequently for this team. Here's Coach Peterson on the evaluation process when it comes to cutting players.
Well, we talk. We have personnel meetings after every ball game and throughout training camp. Talk about the roster. It's still early to make any kind of decision. Obviously Trevor's the quarterback, and Josh will be the defensive end, so we know that much. But after that, it's still evaluation, and still want to get as much time with these guys as we can, right up until the last minute.
The NFL's deadline for finalizing the 53-man roster is next Tuesday, August 27th at 4 p.m. Borderline players will have a big night this Friday, trying to make plays in the team's final preseason game to secure themselves a roster spot. I'm Max Fink here with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
Well, my takeaway is that this organization has tried to tell me to unsee what I saw last year as far as offensive line goes and tell me that everything's good and great. And now we're in a position where the interior offensive line has been underwhelming, and we're going to probably need to go get a guard when it's all said and done. So thank you for not drafting a guard.
Amen, brother. My takeaway is I don't think anybody's making the team from this last preseason game. I don't think anybody's going to get cut because of this last preseason. I think they know their roster right now. Mm-hmm. And there might be one or two guys that they're questioned about, but then again, that's just going to be philosophical. Do we want to keep the 11-year vet with Shadley, or do we want to go with the younger guy? Mm-hmm. Do we want to keep Cooks because he's a better receiver, but he's not as good as a special teams guy? Or do we want to keep Tim Jones because he's a great special teams player, and he's not really going to give you much as a receiver? Those, I think, are the decisions. I don't think it's going to be, wow, he really played great in that game.
Well, I'll go Oppo to you just for the simple fact that the total number of things they do in practice would be my takeaway. Total number of things they do in practice, and they do like to see the stage plays, like who can rise to the occasion. And I do think Elijah Cooks had a chance to rise to the occasion. He really did.
At the very least, he had a chance to lock it up.
Yeah. And so I'm not saying it's like a 100% neg, and that means, oh, no, he's not going to make it. but I just think like the sum total, it has to count for something. And there's such limited opportunity for these guys because they don't get very many reps in those situations to be able to come through.
I guess what I mean by that is I think this game is going to be more about getting tape for other teams.
Mm-hmm. No,
Really,
maybe.
guys.
Because, all right, let's just use this as an example. Brevin Easton, who we liked before the pads came on, it seemed like everything that was thrown his way he was catching. Once the pads came on, maybe a little less. Anyway, he catches himself a score the other night, and he's released today. No real reason to release him other than
help him out.
Yeah, basically to just kind of say, hey, bro, that's your best highlight.
Go use it.
Yeah, people got it on tape. Go use it because we're gonna have to make some tough cuts. You may end up coming back here on the practice squad. We don't know, but for the here and now, we got to cut you loose to see if you can get some activity.
They threw him a bone.
Yeah, which is okay.
No, it's okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and so
That stuff happens all the time.
All the
right?
time, yeah,
Like
absolutely.
guys that work hard in camp. And You know they're not going to be on your roster, but you cut them and say, hey, look, we're cutting you because we think you might be able to catch on elsewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can catch fire somewhere else.
And so we're going to start to go through the position rooms. Where are the strongest position rooms for this team? Where are the weakest ones? We'll probably whittle those down over the next couple of days. But just the exercise we did today, the conversation this training camp, true or false, Leon, has been more about the back end of the roster and how many more talented players are there versus what we've had here before. Even though we can still poke holes in some of those balky draft decisions, at least it's a more complete roster right now.
It is. It is. You've got depth at certain positions. I don't know that maybe the quality of depth may not be all that much, but you've got guys that are scrappy and pushing other guys. Because years past, what did we say? Jag on jag?
Yeah.
That was our phrase.
It was jag on jag.
Jag good.
I'm
Jag.
not sure.
Good jag.
I'm not
bad
sure we're ever going to get away from that.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
And what was his lifeline jag?
Lifeline jag. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because we couldn't assess how good this team was because they were that bad. So when they look good in practice, we was like, oh, that's jag on jag. It doesn't matter. But this team is elevated, of course, from free agency and drafts or whatever. So that's a good thing. The only thing that troubles me a little bit is that, yeah, you can have depth, but do you have good depth?
Right.
I mean, I was mentioning this to Coach Campo. I mean, who's going to make your travel team? Mm-hmm. I know who's going to make your roster, but who are the guys that you know that can get on that plane and land in an opposing place for field, and that if somebody goes down, you could put them in and you could turn your back and know he's going to be good. Mm-hmm. Those are the kind of guys that you need. You need you need that kind of depth. And
You don't have that on the offensive line.
I know you don't.
At this point, you can turn your back and you can get a stalemate.
That's what I'm praying for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't have no furniture movers. We don't. We just at this point, I just want stalemates.
And he has been asking for that. Okay.
Yeah, man.
That's not
I mean, there's only one more lifeline jag left, honestly.
Yeah, Shadley.
The question is he going to stay?
Yeah, Tyler Shadley. His great strength.
And look, he may be making less this year, but still sticking around. It's possible.
Wait a minute, is he the last lifeline jag?
He is.
Oh my goodness.
And not only
Shadley's greatest strength is his strength.
Not only that, I think he's got to stay, man. I think
he's the last one, bro. Wow.
I think you do, man. Over the young guys, because the young guys haven't showed anything.
Well, okay, this brings up another part of this, and this is the conversation we are going to have. And we take this with the grain of salt. We're going to have the sounder. PFF, highest graded rookies this preseason. And this is all on the offensive side of the ball. 30 snaps minimum. We just mentioned Cole Van Lanen has already taken 112, which is just nuts. But these are the guys that have graded out the highest. And I'm just going to pick out the ones that will help stoke the fire that we got. Tyler Guyton, third highest graded guy, 80.6. That's a guy that we were looking at, were we not?
They're going to have two rookies start on their offensive line, the Cowboys. Guyton and Beebe.
The left tackle from the Cowboys from Oklahoma?
Yeah,
Wow.
so Tyler Guyton is graded out high, and the Dallas Cowboys have had a great offensive line, and then they needed to retool it, which they did. Or at least that's what they look like they are doing, because they had to say goodbye or look at the age of some of the guys that were there forever. They were fixtures. Like you said, turn your back, leave them alone for a decade. Anyway, between Guyton and Beebe, those are the guys that they're counting on. Tyler Guyton, third highest rated offensive guy with a minimum of 30 snaps. Bo Nix is the next guy. Bo Nix looked pretty good. Yeah. We argued about Caleb Williams yesterday. Bo Nix was, what was he, either 8 of 9 or 9 of 10? He moves well in that Sean Payton offense. That definitely will be one that you want to keep an eye on. Jermaine Burton, among the top 10 on the offensive side. A little surprised by that.
I knew he'd be a good NFL player. He can run.
I know he can run. Man. I still don't know what to make of him. Diminutive guy, not necessarily.
He's not that small.
But not necessarily the fastest. Anyway, I guess I am a little surprised. And you can take what you see in the preseason with a huge old grain of salt, because they're going up against guys that may or may not make rosters, and we do fall in love in the preseason a bunch. We can't help it. But there are a few other ones. Malachi Corley is a guy that we talked about for sure, and he's up there in New York, and he graded out pretty well. Ray Davis, that's a nice story. If that guy could do something, he graded out 79.2. So for what it's worth, you're seeing a handful of those guys that are popping. These rookies, we've seen obviously a couple of them that have been able to step up. The argument earlier was Brian Thomas Jr. Has he done enough to wow you? He's represented a deep threat, showed his ability to block with the downfield play from Tank the other night. There's a lot of things that he has been doing well, and if all he has to do is take defenders with him, and then that line of scrimmage is much more manageable, is it not?
That's a lot to ask for a rookie.
Well,
take the cap off the defense.
Yeah.
That's a lot to ask.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. It is. And I'm not saying this is a guarantee or anything like that, but if he can make a few plays down the field, it's automatic and instant respect.
Yeah.
You got to deal with him, whatever defense is out.
Yeah, because here's the thing. He's going to have to start catching some of those balls, because if it's not being thrown his way, I mean, he's going to be looked at as a perennial decoy. Mm-hmm. I mean, so he's got to be a threat. So when he's going downfield, Trevor's got to take some shots with him every now and then, so he can keep the defense on his toes.
Yeah, who will he turn into? John Ross, remember the highly drafted cat, top 10 to the Bengals.
Yeah, but John Ross wasn't as physical as Brian Thomas Jr.
No, that's what I'm saying. In other words, he's got to make plays down the field. Mm-hmm. Troy Williamson, any of these other guys that were drafted very high but never made those plays down the field. Mm-hmm. Brian Thomas is fast, big, good hands, knows how to go up and make that play, basically turn a 50-50 ball into a 70-30 ball. Those types of things have to happen. And if he's able to do that, then, you're at the very least looking at the potential to get some bodies off of that line of scrimmage.
I think you've seen things in the first couple of preseason games where you're like, all right, clearly in camp you have, right? Mm-hmm. And then when it gets translated to the game, then you're kind of like, all right, I'm feeling a little bit better about this. I mean, when he pushed off the corner and bump coverage and did the out, caught the out, and it was clear that was an NFL pattern, an NFL catch, and an NFL move, all of it.
Yeah.
And it looked good. It looked really good, and it looked smooth. So yeah, I mean, I think like the ladies asked me this during the crossover, like who has impressed you in the rookies, and I said I'm not sure any of them yet. And there's been spots where they have, and I think Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be a good player, but I got to see it. I got to see it.
Yeah, and I think all any of us are looking for at this time is for them to make a play against the guys they're going against. And he made a play early in the preseason, even with an underthrow from C.J. Beathard that made you that had to make all Duval sit up and smile and go, oh yeah. That's something that we've been wanting to see. That's for sure.
So if you're talking about the game this weekend, like that first drive, I would love to see him catch a couple balls.
Yeah.
I would love it.
Yeah.
Like, and you see some kind of connection between he and Trevor in that first drive where, it looks smooth. The operation looks good. He looks like he knows what he's doing out there. It's a lot like, I said yesterday about Anton Harrison. When Anton Harrison's on the field now, you can tell he is their best offensive lineman. He's got that aura about him. And I want to see that with Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah, and that's a good one because, by the way, we may still be able to throw darts at Balky's draft class if Brenton Strange doesn't add up or Tank doesn't add up. But the Anton Harrison and the Brian Thomases, if they make it, then those are the guys that you're going to be pointing to as far as the Balky draft class or drafts are concerned. Those are the guys that are going to get it done. That's for sure. We're going to walk a guy in here in just 1 second that is about to do a Seminole roundtable with Rick Ballou and Niall Lawrence Stample. They're going to get together and do a Seminoles roundtable. But Big Earl's going to walk down the hall and pop in here for 1 second. I just got to get him to say, hey. Hayes Carline will say hello to us first, and then we'll hopefully say hello to Big Earl. That's what I call Todd Fordham, is Big Earl.
Big Earl.
Because he just told the classic story when he'll have to tell a story one day on XL Primetime. Right now, let's get to the embedded and shredded.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers. Discover BioTarget Regenerative Therapy, a safer drug-free solution for lasting pain relief. Visit GoBioTarget.com.
Hayes Carline.
How you doing?
Walking off another practice field.
That's right.
Yeah. Hot today?
It was hot.
Yeah,
it was hot. But I guess we're kind of used to it by now.
Yeah, it is true. It
is
true.
But good work, and it looked like everybody was healthy, so that's always good. So, yeah.
All right, so we've been trying to say who helped themselves, who hurt themselves the other night. You got a candidate for either side because we've thrown a bunch of names out there. Cole Van Lanen, Sir Abdullah, maybe even Elijah Cooks with the drop kind of hurt himself a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. I think nothing in terms of, I'd say, like, bubble guys, really. I mean, I would agree with Matt. I think it's been fairly fortified for a while. I do think it's competitive. I think they're going to have the opportunity to maybe have a couple clubs reach out to them once they release their list. I would anticipate the Jaguars releasing their list a day early. Mm-hmm. That would make sense.
Yeah.
Because
they did last year, right?
Yeah, it's just a good practice to have because then, another club who's particularly far down in the waiver process could look at it and say, well, we know. Let's just hypothetically say it's Elijah Cooks. Mm-hmm. We know there's a good chance Elijah Cooks may not make it to us because we're 21st in waiver because we were pretty good last year. Yeah. So why don't we just call Trent Baalke and offer a 7th, to acquire this player? So you could see something like that. But yeah, I think overall it's been really good. I think the depth is shown up. I think I mentioned it yesterday to you guys. They're 3rd in the preseason in point differential.
Yeah.
So I think that speaks to the depth that they have. But I mean, this season, as you guys, it's going to come down to the stars and the top 10 guys on the roster. If they play really well, this team will have a good year, and if they don't, people are going to lose jobs.
Yeah, exactly. Now, we're not losing our job. What's coming
I love
up
that, by the way. People are going to lose jobs.
Yes.
He's not messing around.
Professional football. Yeah, I mean, it's how it goes. We're going to have a really fun Frangie show coming up. I had a chance to talk to Eric Armstead really for the first time and get to meet him, talk to him one-on-one after practice. So just about 20 minutes ago, and so we'll play that interview. But it was really fun just getting a chance to know Eric, a little bit about him. 4-time Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee. Does a lot of just unbelievable charitable work. So I had an opportunity to learn more about that and then obviously talk football. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. Lots of Jaguars, Gators, Knowles, Dogs, all sorts of fun stuff coming up on the Frangie Show.
Sounds good, Hayes. Thanks,
Thank
man.
you
We
guys.
will be listening. That puts another in the Calais Campbell description for Eric Armstead because Calais was a Man of the Year. All right, we are done. We appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Big Searcy, Matty Hayes, Joe C., RJ. We say thanks to Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota. Definitely look for them online. You can find Beaver Toyota St. Augustine.com there. And then, of course, on US 1 in the AUG, BeaverChevrolet.com. And they are right there on Phillips Highway. We are done. We turn you loose with the Frangie Show coming up next.
Everyone wants to doubt Jacksonville. Never doubt Jacksonville.